4 years ago, Brandon Aubrey was sitting inside an office building in Dallas writing code for a finance company. Today, he might be the most dangerous kicker in the entire NFL.
Trying to hit from 64 yards. Aubrey, does he have enough? It is good! That's why they trusted him!
64 yards. The entire stadium froze. Most kickers can barely reach that distance in warm-ups, but the Cowboys weren't panicking. They were confident because Brandon Aubrey had already turned impossible kicks into routine moments. And when the ball exploded off his foot, it tied the NFL record. But here's what makes this story insane. Just a few years earlier, Aubrey wasn't even a football player. He was a software engineer at GM Financial. Before that, he was a failed soccer prospect whose professional career collapsed so badly. He quit sports entirely. No NFL experience, no college football, no football after high school. And somehow, this 28-year-old rookie walked into the NFL and instantly became a cheat code. He started his career with one of the greatest field goal streaks in league history.
What a leg, obviously, the accuracy, or he's like the Steph Curry of kickers. There's no range that's too far.
Analysts started calling him the Steph Curry of kickers because his range made absolutely no sense. But the craziest part, his NFL career almost ended before it even started, because his very first kick with the Cowboys made fans panic instantly. Before Brandon Aubrey became an NFL weapon, he was supposed to become a soccer star. At Notre Dame, Aubrey looked like the real deal. He played center-back, helped lead one of the top soccer programs in the country, and developed a reputation as a smart, disciplined athlete. And smart wasn't just a cliche. While dominating on the field, Aubrey was also majoring in computer science. That combination made him unique already. Then in 2017, his dream finally arrived. Toronto FC selected him with the 21st overall pick in the MLS Superdraft. A first-round pick. For most athletes, that's the moment everything changes. For Brandon Aubrey, it was the beginning of the collapse, because despite the draft hype, he never played a single minute in MLS, not one. Instead, Toronto sent him down to the lower divisions, and that's where everything started falling apart. The confidence disappeared, the aggression disappeared. Aubrey later admitted he started playing scared, and once that happens in professional sports, it spreads fast. Soon, Toronto's second team cut him completely. Then came another opportunity with Bethlehem Steel, another chance to save the dream, another failure. At just 22 years old, Brandon Aubrey realized something brutal. His professional sports career was over. Most athletes never mentally recover from that kind of collapse, especially first-round picks. But Aubrey didn't blame coaches. He didn't make excuses, he simply admitted the truth. At that point in his life, he just wasn't good enough. So instead of chasing a dead dream, he walked away from sports entirely and entered corporate America. And honestly, that should have been the end of the story. But then, one random Sunday changed everything. Every morning, Brandon Aubrey woke up and went to work like a normal person. No stadiums, no crowds, no spotlight, just coding. At GM Financial, Aubrey worked as a software engineer focused on data and systems. The former first-round athlete was now living a completely different life. And for a while, that life made sense. Soccer had destroyed his confidence. Sports were over until one Sunday afternoon. Aubrey was sitting at home watching football with his wife Jennifer when she casually said something that sounded completely ridiculous. "I think you could do that." She was talking about kicking in the NFL. At first, the idea sounded insane. Brandon Aubrey hadn't played football since high school. No college kicking experience, no NFL connections, nothing. But something about that moment stayed in his head. So he started training with Brian Egan in Texas. This became his double life. Gym before work, coding all day, then driving to a field after work and kicking footballs until it got dark. Day after day, month after month, year after year. And this is where his soccer background suddenly became a superpower. The flexibility, the hip rotation, the ball striking mechanics, the ability to generate power from impossible angles. Soccer had failed him professionally, but it accidentally built the perfect NFL kicking foundation. Then came the moment that almost feels scripted. Brian Egan was a good friend of Dak Prescott. Before he ever joined the Cowboys, Aubrey entered a random kicking competition held by Dak Prescott with $200 reward for the winner, and somehow the software engineer beat everyone. He won $200 and used the money to help buy Jennifer's wedding ring. It sounds like a movie scene, but there was still one giant problem. No NFL team actually believed in him, because talent is one thing. Doing it under pressure is something completely different. NFL teams kept asking the same question: can this guy actually handle real pressure? Because kicking alone on an empty field means nothing. The NFL needed proof, and Brandon Aubrey had almost no football film to show them. That's when the USFL changed everything. Aubrey joined the Birmingham Stallions and finally got a real opportunity to kick in live games with real consequences. And suddenly, the pressure that destroyed his soccer career started creating a completely different version of him. Confident, calm, automatic. He wasn't just surviving anymore, he was dominating. Aubrey helped lead the Stallions to back-to-back championships while showcasing absurd leg strength and consistency from deep range. His kickoffs exploded through the end zone. Long field goals started looking easy, and NFL scouts couldn't ignore him anymore. Then the perfect opportunity appeared, because at the exact same time, the Dallas Cowboys were desperate. Everyone remembers what happened to Brett Maher in the playoffs against Tampa Bay. 4 missed extra points. Situation. Dallas needed answers immediately, and somehow the former software engineer who failed in professional soccer suddenly became part of the solution. But what happened next almost ruined everything before it even began. And just when Brandon Aubrey finally got his NFL opportunity, it almost fell apart instantly. When Dallas brought Aubrey into training camp, almost nobody expected him to actually win the job. Think about how insane this sounded on paper. A 28-year-old rookie, a former soccer bust, a software engineer, a guy who had never kicked in a single NFL game. And now he was competing against veteran kicker Tristan Vizcaino for one of the most high-pressure jobs in football. Then came the pressure simulation. The Cowboys lined both kickers up and created game-like situations to see who could handle the moment. And honestly, neither looked good. Aubrey went 1 for 3, but somehow Vizcaino missed all 3. That ugly session basically handed Aubrey the job by default. No dramatic movie moment, no perfect underdog montage, just survival. But things got even worse once the season started, because on his very first NFL extra point, Brandon Aubrey missed. Cowboys fans instantly froze. After the Brett Maher disaster, this was the absolute last thing Dallas wanted to see. And at that moment, everybody thought the Cowboys had made the same mistake all over again. What nobody realized? That missed kick was about to unlock something terrifying.
51-yard field goal! Yeah! 44-yard field goal! Yeah! 64-yard field goal! Yeah!
After that missed extra point, Brandon Aubrey became automatic. Not good, not solid, automatic. Almost overnight, the former software engineer transformed into one of the most dangerous weapons in football, and the stats started getting ridiculous fast. Aubrey opened his NFL career by making 35 consecutive field goals, one of the greatest starts any kicker has ever had. Week after week, he kept drilling kicks from distances that normally make coaches nervous.
In overtime, with the walk-off, 46 yards!
50 yards, routine, 59, no problem. 60, right down the middle. Then came the 64-yarder that tied the NFL record and made the entire league stop and stare. At some point, this stopped feeling normal, because Brandon Aubrey wasn't just making long kicks. He was changing how teams thought about field position itself. Most defenses panic once they stall near midfield. The Cowboys, they suddenly felt like they were already in scoring range. That's why analysts started calling him the Steph Curry of kickers. Steph Curry changed basketball by turning impossible shots into smart shots. Aubrey is doing the exact same thing with field goals. He makes 60-yard attempts feel normal. And the craziest part? There's actual science behind why he's different. His soccer background gave him explosive hip rotation, elite ball striking mechanics, and incredible lower body force generation. The ball jumps off his foot differently. His kicks stay powerful even from absurd distances. Some analysts even joked the NFL might need an Aubrey rule and move the goalposts back. That's how ridiculous his range became. Then the awards started piling up. Pro Bowl selection, rookie scoring records, one of the strongest-legged kickers the league has ever seen. And remember, just a few years earlier, this guy was sitting behind a computer screen writing code for a finance company because he thought his sports career was over. Now, he's on pace to become one of the highest-paid kickers in NFL history. And somehow, the failed soccer player became one of the Cowboys' biggest weapons. Brandon Aubrey's story doesn't even sound real. A first-round soccer pick who never played an MLS game, a player cut from the lower divisions, a man who completely walked away from sports to become a software engineer. Then came the secret training, the empty fields, the late nights, the USFL grind, and finally, the NFL opportunity nobody saw coming. Most people quit after failure. Brandon Aubrey rebuilt himself from scratch. And now the Cowboys don't just have a kicker. They may have discovered a weapon capable of changing what the NFL thinks is possible from long range. So here's the real question. Is Brandon Aubrey already the greatest long-distance kicker in NFL history? And if you enjoyed this unbelievable redemption story, you need to watch our other video, How a Bust Became an NFL Star, because somehow that comeback story is just as insane.